Hello, Nevada County. My name's Tony Beverly, and I'm the host of Our Amazing Kids. And this lovely young lady sitting next to me is Sparrow. Hi, Sparrow.
Hi.
What'd you come to teach me? What'd you come to talk about?
Insects.
Insects. Insects are something little boys are usually interested in. You like insects?
They're very pretty, some of them.
Yeah? When did you start liking bugs?
Kindergarten.
Yeah? What's your favorite? Tell me about them. Tell me about your favorite.
Dragonflies are my favorite.
Oh, okay. They're not so bad. They won't sting you, do they? Oh, good. So tell me anything you want to tell me about insects.
Okay, well, dragonflies, they do start in water. The dragonflies lay their eggs in water,
Yeah.
and so they basically grow in water.
They grow in water. Oh, the eggs do. Okay.
And also they still live in water.
And then when they,
And then when they're like a little adult thing, they climb out.
climb out of the egg.
They spend like 6 years in the water.
Wow.
And when they're grown up, sometimes they only live like a few weeks.
That's not very long. I know there's one fly that lives only 2 days, I think. But, so you were telling me, or you were saying earlier that there's a difference, but that spiders aren't insects?
Spiders aren't insects, they're arachnids.
Why? They're little bugs.
They have 8 legs, they don't have 6.
Oh, insects have 6 legs, spiders have 8. That makes sense, that makes sense. So you're not afraid of them or getting
No.
stung or bit or anything?
Even though I'm not really scared of bees, but I don't want any bee to sting me because when I was very little, I got stung by a wasp.
That must have hurt. Did you get sick or did it just
No,
get...
it just really hurt.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was the wasp's fault because it got in my bag of chips.
Well, it's a well-known fact that wasps love potato chips. So, do you have a collection of insects at home? Or?
No, I just generally when I see insects, like just look down at them.
Yeah. Maybe when you get older, you can take pictures of them and stuff, like really close-up pictures. So, especially a dragonfly. I've seen close-up pictures.
Some dragonflies are iridescent.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Their wings are all colory. That's very cool. I read somewhere that there's more insects in the world than any other creature. That's the most thing there is in the world is insects. So you'll have plenty of things to study as time goes by. So, have you ever heard of a damselfly?
Yes, my friend Kayan also studied damselflies.
And there's a difference between a dragonfly and a damselfly?
I can't remember which one is which, but one of them works their wings outward, and one of them is perches with their wings like just up, like how they usually fly.
Wow. So one has retracted, like folding wings, and the other one doesn't?
Not really fold-in wings, but it's more like that they perch differently.
Oh, I see. But they're in the water too, just like dragonflies?
I don't remember.
I think so, yeah. I think they're almost the same, but just a little bit different. Like you said, a few differences. Well, so do you draw them, or you just...
I made up an animation when I was in theater camp, and I named him Superfly because he had a cape and he was a fly.
Right, that makes sense. So tell me about some other insects you like besides dragonflies.
I really like bees.
Really? Why?
Because, well, I like bees, but I'm kind of scared of them
That makes
because
sense.
I usually wear flowery dresses. And one time a bee came into me and tried to suck the pollen out of one of my dresses.
And is that when you got stung? Oh, you got stung by a wasp.
I got stung by a wasp.
Oh,
I've
that's
never
good.
got stung by a bee.
I actually haven't either, and I like that. Well, there's all kind of bees. I know there's at least 3 different kind of bees, but
Only one of them produces honey, and that's a honeybee.
right. Bees are very important to farmers and stuff because of the pollen. I know that. There's a little bit I know about insects, but not too much. But not nearly as much as you, that's for sure.
My mama knows a woman who has a farm, and we get our vegetables and stuff from her and fruits. And she has a bee thingy, majiggy. She has a bee hive or something.
Oh, a beehive, a big colony?
Okay. It's more like that. She puts the beehive in this little box.
Yeah. That way they can go out and pollinate all of her crops. That's pretty cool. Yeah, bees are very useful, a useful insect. I know that in some cultures, I think Chinese, maybe, they eat insects, like grasshoppers and stuff.
Yes. In my school, they were doing grasshoppers, but thank God because they knew I was a vegetarian, they put some grasshoppers aside so I didn't need to eat any grasshoppers. But I did eat a grasshopper cookie because it didn't taste like grasshoppers.
Well, how do you know?
Because I tried it.
I know, but grasshoppers might be delicious. You said it didn't
They
taste
aren't.
like that.
They don't taste. They taste good in cookies, but they don't taste good.
Okay, I'll take your word for it because I went to Australia. They sell grasshoppers in packages, like you can buy candy, like gummy
Never
bears.
buy them. They are black. Some people like them, but I do not.
I don't think I would either.
Mosquitoes really like to eat.
Mosquitoes bite you a lot? That's probably because you're so sweet.
They bit my grandma, then they bit my mama, then they bite me.
Wow. Yeah, insects are bad. I mean, mosquitoes are bad.
Yes, I know.
Not all insects are bad. So, do you think that you're going to want to study insects for like a job, or you said you went?
Maybe not for like a job, but maybe for a hobby or something.
There you go. That sounds good. That sounds wonderful. What about butterflies?
Oh, yes, I learned about butterflies, and they are very pretty.
I know butterflies are beautiful. So are dragonflies, though.
Yes. And ladybugs.
Ladybugs.
Yes. And one butterfly sat on my finger for a little bit one time.
Really?
And it sat on my mom's hat for a little while, and I got to put it on.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So you don't like ugly insects like roaches, maybe? You ever seen a roach? That's good. Roaches are nasty.
I have seen a cockroach, though.
That's what I'm talking about. I just shortened it to roach instead of the full.
I've seen a killed cockroach.
Yeah, cockroaches aren't nowhere pretty like butterflies and dragonflies.
But did you know that there is a spider under the sea?
There's a spider under the sea.
That lives under the sea.
I think you're pulling my leg. Tell me about this spider that lives under the
So,
sea.
it lives very deep down, and it eats stuff that like falls, that like it eats little tiny stuff that falls down.
How does it breathe? Is it a fish spider or a spider
No,
fish?
It has something I don't really.
Wow, we're gonna have to find out about that. We're gonna have to do some exploring, and you can come back and tell me about that because that sounds really interesting.
It is.
But almost everybody I know is afraid of spiders, and as soon as they see one, they kill them, and that's not good. Spiders are very helpful, and even though
And
they're
I see dead spiders everywhere in our rehearsal room. I am not surprised
Yeah.
because we walk around everywhere.
We're going to take a break right now,
Okay.
and we'll be back. And don't you go anywhere. We'll talk some more, okay?
Okay.
We'll be right back.
We just finished dinner and it was time for homework. He hates homework. I know he's bright.
Why is it so hard for me?
He's
I'm
just
trying
gotta
as
try a
hard
little
as
harder.
I can.
1 in 5 children struggle with learning and attention issues. Go from misunderstanding to understood.org.
Welcome back to Our Amazing Kids. We've been talking with Sparrow. She's a little girl, a lovely little girl who loves insects, and we're joined by Danae. Danae, this is Sparrow. Sparrow, Danae.
Hi, lovely to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Danae is somewhat of an insect expert herself, so I thought maybe Sparrow would like to talk to Danae, and vice versa. Ladies.
Hi.
Hi. You might know more about some of the insects that you've talked about than I actually do. I'm a master gardener, so I come across a lot of insects
Cool.
in the garden. So I know some of the good ones and some of the bad ones. But do you have any questions?
What happens after mosquitoes lay their eggs?
My goodness, I do not know that. How could we figure that out? What could we do?
I don't know.
Maybe we could go to the library.
Thyroid or something?
Yeah, we could go to the library, we could look it up. We could find a reliable internet site. Or we could ask one of those professional insect people. Do you remember the name?
No.
An entomologist. We could ask an entomologist. They study insects. Well, I can't answer that one, but we could look it up sometime.
So, Danae, you said there was, for your gardening, there's good insects and bad insects. Maybe we could talk about which is which.
Well, there are some predatory insects that will eat insects that are
Roses.
bad. Roses, there are aphids. Yes. Do you know the kind of bug that eats the aphids?
Ladybugs.
You're right. Do you know they're called lady beetles?
No.
And there's a lot of different kinds of lady beetles, too, that eat the different kinds of aphids.
And do you know how I know that? I released 200 and something, I don't remember, 200, 300, 100, 1,000 and something ladybugs to eat all our aphids from the rose bush, just on one plant.
Did they stay around for a while? or-
For like a little, a little bit, like for a week or what.
Yeah, they must have eaten the aphids and flown on, because once the aphids are gone, they go somewhere else because they're hungry. They want some more aphids to eat.
They're like, ooh, that was a lot of aphids. Okay, bye.
Let's find the next batch, right?
Like, let's see some more rose bushes. Oh, let's go in the front because there are more rose bushes there.
Well, where did you release them on the bush?
In the bottom.
On the bottom, that's right, because then they climb up and eat the aphids along the way. And do you know that the aphids are mostly on the new growth on rose bushes?
Like basically on the top. Because
Yeah, the new growth, the stuff
Yeah.
that comes out on top, right? Yes.
Well, Sparrow and I were talking about bees and how important they are
I see you
for
have bees on your
agriculture.
pants there.
Yes, see, I do.
So they're like the most important thing to agriculture, isn't that right?
Yeah, they're an important pollinator. There are some other insects that are pollinators, but bees are the most important. They collect the pollen on their furry little legs and bodies and then fly from flower to flower and drops them off, pick it up and drop it off. So, yes.
And
They're-
also some try to drink pollen from my dresses.
Yes, I had to laugh. I think I've had that same experience. They land on your bright clothing and
Yeah, it was
think
like,
that you're something to eat.
it was like bright pink and it was like, oh no, get away, get away.
So how long have you been a master gardener?
Well, I took the training in 2015 because I was having so many issues in my own garden that I was having trouble solving that I thought, gosh, I am going to conquer this.
Right.
So I was lucky enough to join the Master Gardeners, and it's been a learning experience all along the way. I learned from all the other people and from research, and I've learned that there's always something.
Yeah.
You can never know it all.
We were also discussing the differences between spiders and, I learned from this lovely young lady that a spider's not an insect because of the number of legs.
Well, there's insects and there's bugs, and all bugs are insects, but insects are not
bugs.
all bugs. And it has to do with body type. And let's see, the insects have 3 sections in their body type. They also have a couple of sets of working wings. They have
Right.
a different type of a mouth than from a bug. And the bugs have a different body type. There's kind of a 2-section body and usually only 1 set of wings that work. Do you remember is there a leg difference between an insect and a bug? I can't remember.
I don't know. I think they're both 6 or.
They may be
pretty
both
sure.
6. Yeah. I don't quite remember that one.
Me either.
Well, we'll have to look that up. We'll have to go to the library and look it up, right?
So you guys are saying all bugs are insects, but not all insects are bugs.
Yes.
I've learned something. Thanks to you guys, because they were all bugs to me, and I couldn't be more wrong. So that's just wonderful. It just amazes me how much knowledge such a young person can have about a particular. That's why it's called Our Amazing Kids, because the kids in this county are truly amazing, so amazing.
So amazing, they can teach us a lot of things.
I see that. So is there any other questions you had for Danae?
Is a dragonfly an insect or a bug?
Honestly, I don't know. You could tell me that, couldn't you? You're going to tell me, right?
forget.
You forget? So do I.
Well, all we know is that dragonflies are Sparrow's favorite, whether it's a bug or an insect. They're beautiful. They don't hurt nobody.
Iridescent.
They have iridescent.
Well, they do hurt bugs,
Well,
big bugs.
but not insects. See how confused I get? A dragonfly will hurt a bug, but not an insect.
You know, I think dragonflies are going to have a new special meaning to me now since they're your favorite.
We're going to have to when you come back and talk about insects some more, maybe when you're in 4th grade, we'll have a dragonfly pins. We'll all wear dragonfly pins so we know. Of course, by then, butterflies might be your favorite, or who knows. Well, I think this has been wonderful, don't you?
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's been a pleasure meeting you, and you too, Danae. I appreciate everything. We'll be back with another episode of Our Amazing Kids before you know it. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.